You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 402 of East Central's favorite podcast. Jeremiah Morrell today, joined by all of my friends. If you're watching the live stream, you understand I'm the only one here. Zach Burcham is here.
I'm here.
This has not happened in a while. Has this ever happened? We've done like one or two like this.
Maybe one.
Where it's just us.
It's been a while.
We had a plan.
Yep.
We had a plan, and
efforts were made.
I was like being in sales today. I got told no by all our coworkers. Normally we're a Thursday show. People have stuff going on. Saying, hey, can I get you on a Tuesday? A little harder. Saying, hey, can I get you on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Really difficult.
Yeah.
Because they all have shit going on. We're going to talk about a few different things today. There's been a rabies report that's making statewide news here in Baker Park in Newcastle. The Henry County Forage Fair is happening right now. There's a Uno casino game that I feel like Zach's kids might need to go to Vegas for. Ed Carpenter Racing in the IndyCar world is moving. They're building a new shop. And got a little bit of news on the sports car front, or the sports front as well. Maybe a new driver for Toronto at IndyCar. Got to say thanks to the patrons, John Phillips over at Wetzel Ford in Richmond, Varsity Outfitters, Blake Reese here in Newcastle does all of our custom apparel. They can do yours too. Tommy Oaks over at Walnut Ridge RV. I saw their showpiece RV over at the Henry County Fair last night. Got my picture made with it.
Oh, damn! Nice. Only a Brinkley.
They were. I think it was a basic type like a.
Always have like a show, like a.
It was just a camper,
just a nice,
and
camper.
it was home for the for Miss Henry County, I believe, in the court. It was like a nice air conditioned spot for them to hang out and chill.
That's nice. That's nice of them to do for them.
I can't remember the brand of it now. I was holding my 2-year-old nephew, and we were walking through, and he just kept pointing out and saying camper, which is a new word. He didn't know camper, but he wanted that camper, and he really wanted to go in it, but it was occupied, and that's not our camper, Everett. So yeah, that's happening over at the Henry County Forage Fair. Morrell Monument cleaning down in Rushville. Joyce Morrell can get your family monuments all cleaned up, and down in Rushville as well. Pops Recycle, the retail space at in Rushville as well. You want an old vintage Schwinn, or maybe you got a vintage Schwinn that you want to have restored. Get with Paul, and he'll get you taken care of. So those are the patrons. You do get the show notes dropped into the super secret Facebook group each and every week. Those came in about 5:55 today. Once I had a running list of ideas, Zach.
Yeah.
But I don't like to fully cook it until I know what we've got.
And who we've got
and who we have. Yeah, but we had a plan. I think they're all just watching the Major League Baseball All-Star game tonight. Here's the problem. Bones was going to be here, but he had a UPS truck full of Christmas packages. And his route here, he normally takes I-69 from Indianapolis because he delivers, he works out of like the north side of Indy. 465, 69 to 38. What's wrong with that picture? 38's closed.
Yeah.
Can't do it. So his backup road, even if he was on time, his backup road, I-70. What happened today on 70?
Yeah, a semi-truck immolated.
A semi burned to the ground and completely shut down the interstate for like 5 or 6 hours. I looked at Google Maps, and it was completely screwed all the way past Greenfield. Traffic was ditching onto State Road 9, trying to get to 40. It was backed up almost all the way to 70 on State Road 9 today. So Greenfield was crushed.
Yeah, I took 234 on my way home from work.
State Road. Our other guest that we had, I had a fellow that works with Hamilton County in their pet rescue organization. A guy named Brad. Brad was going to join us, but he said, "Oh man, he's got some limitations with driving, so he has to be a summertime guest." And I was like, "We should have a late summer sunset tonight." 32 is closed as well where he lives, so he's like, "I'll never make it. By the time I get there, I'll have to turn around and go back." 32 shut down. So then his route was gone because 32 and 38 are closed. That one screws him. Next Monday, State Road 3 shutting down here in town for a gas line replacement for a week. So that's fine. You can just go to Main Street, right? Main Street here in town. That's down to one lane because they ripped out half the road trying to fix the water main that's been broken and leaking for 6 months that had created a huge puddle. So that's not re-poured back yet. It's literally half the road is gravel. And then if you're trying to go east and west, they're still doing the Riley Road project as well. So one of the 4 biggest arteries east and west in this town is screwed up.
It's not super local, but just as a joke, if you take 3 far enough north, it's closed eventually too. Like you can't take 3 to like all the way to Fort Wayne. It's closed.
Correct.
Bridge out.
And if you try to get out of here, you say, "Oh, you know what? I'm not going to take 3. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to go down to say Louisville on State Road 103." Can't do that either. It's closed too.
It's comedic.
There's nowhere to go.
And then I had to take the detour.
And if you do get to I-70, it's a disaster.
Good luck. Yeah, it's 76. Don't care. It's a shithole road. Like it's a horrible road. And I drove it. I came back in, like I mentioned last week, came in on Ohio 70, and you can close your eyes and you see videos on YouTube and you're like, they're exaggerating. No, 100%. You can close your eyes and feel the state line hit you as a broken up seam of pavement. So yeah, it's comedic the amount because when I took the detour for 3 on the way, went up north for a family thing. The detour doesn't say this is the detour for State Road 3. You're on a detour for a whole other road. So there's detours on top of detours on top of detours. It's like 4D chess of road construction in the state. But somehow the roads are still terrible. I don't understand how they're so bad for so much work being done.
Just wait until we get enough money to pay for it. Once we get the tolling money, Zach, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, I can feel my wallet getting lighter.
So, got a press release today. July 15th, 2025. At first I read it and I said, well, okay, whatever, fine. But then I read the instructions, the advisory. So this came from the Henry County Health Department. Press release, wild animals, rabies case confirmed in Henry County. Okay. Henry County Health Department urges residents to vaccinate their pets and keep their distance from wildlife following the discovery of a laboratory-confirmed rabies-positive bat that was found on July 11th in Baker Park. So basically Central Park of Newcastle, Henry County's most popular, the city's most popular park.
The epicenter.
Memorial Park has got more stuff going on because of the county fair right now, but this is the Central Park next to the high school. This is the big time.
Yeah, day in, day out, one of the busiest parts of town, period. Skate park, pool, pickleball, disc golf, it's all going on there.
Make sure you vaccinate your pets against rabies. These are the local residents' steps that they prescribe. Do not touch, feed, or handle wild animals. Presley Sora, who was our guest last week, he was caught. He moved a turtle on the road, so now he's kind of worried. It'd be very unfortunate if he misses his ARCA race because he moved a turtle last night. But don't touch wild animals. You're supposed to. This is the one that got me. Keep all pets, including your dogs, cats, and ferrets, indoor or on a leash. I don't know how many ferrets we have that are domesticated in this city.
One's Googleable,
but this is the official thing. Keep your ferrets.
I did not know
leash.
We had a ferret population, and
I looked it up a little bit. Ferrets have been domesticated and more legal-ish since the 1980s, but I don't know if a ferret is like, can you train it to use a litter box? Does it go outside and use like on its own? I don't know. And I went down this rabbit hole of worrying about people's pet ferrets and the rabies risks today.
Unfortunately, it tells me there's no specific statistics for how many ferrets are in Henry County. It says there's about 1 million nationwide. I know somebody back in the day that had a pet ferret. But I can't imagine.
I don't know if they have personalities.
I remember
Google's AI says there's between 500,000 and 8 million. Nobody really knows.
Yeah. the one I remember.
It's not like you register your ferret.
No, the one I remember. I bet he has some personality. He's really interesting though because he would run, and he had like all-wheel drive, but the drive shaft connecting them was not connected. So he would constantly, like, his rear end would swing out and he'd just roll everywhere, like barrel roll. He just kind of run and then roll and run and roll. He was kind of crazy.
The USA Today ran an article, and they said that the American Veterinary Medical Association survey in 2021 showed that 0.1% of American households have a pet ferret. Put that in perspective, 45% of Americans have a dog and 26% have a cat. So you're a 0.1%.
45% have a dog?
45% of households have a dog.
That's a lot.
26% have cats. I mean, my entire family has dogs.
Yeah. Mine doesn't. I think there's a dog in my family. Cats, all cats.
Yeah, you're special.
Yeah.
Ferrets are likely a domesticated version of a European polecat, which is a type of a weasel.
Yeah.
It's a
It is
weasel.
funny though. I've run a lot of miles. I never passed somebody that was out walking a ferret. Or seen like a ferret on a lead out in the front yard.
Humans have domesticated ferrets for 2,500 years. How long does a ferret live? Is this like a long commitment? I don't know. Yes, there's rabies. Yes, it's a big deal. Don't lick the ferrets. Don't exchange spit with a ferret. It'll be okay.
Google's getting good. I put life X and it's like life expectancy of a ferret. It's like, 5 to 7 years. With proper care, some ferrets can live beyond 10, with the oldest recorded ferret living to be 14.
I bet an old ferret's probably pretty smelly.
Yeah.
Rabies is a viral infection primarily spread through saliva bites throughout the We'll start that over. I've got the press release, and it's like a ping version of it, so the text quality is not as good as it should be over here. I'm not this bad. Rabies is a viral infection primarily. It looks like a fax. It's like I'm reading a fax from 1996 over here. Rabies is a viral infection primarily spread in saliva through the bite of an infected animal. The virus doesn't spread through blood, urine, or feces, which is, for those of you that don't know, that's poop. In the United States, the virus is typically found in wild animals such as bats, skunks, raccoons, and foxes. Unvaccinated pets and livestock can also be infected. 3 bats have tested positive in Indiana so far this year. Okay, so there's 92 counties. 3 bats have tested positive. Since 1988, bats have been the most common rabid animal. It's not your raccoons, it's bats. And they've been found somewhere in the state every year since 1965. It happens. I don't know how they discovered it or exactly what told them that they had a rabid bat, but animals with rabies typically act strangely. They may be aggressive and may try to bite people or other animals, or act shy or dull and be unresponsive. Some rabid animals drool, but not all of them, which is the foaming at the mouth. So there's your rabies update.
Never thought it would happen in our backyard. Yeah, I'm not super concerned.
Between your house and mine.
Yeah,
literally.
I mean, it is the middle of town. Like, I can tell you that 2 miles to the one direction, you're in the country. 2 miles the other direction, you're pretty much in the country as well. So it's in the middle of town. But yeah, I heard it was discovered. I haven't heard of it like attacking anybody or any like real implications from it. Just that it was discovered. I mean, there could be lots of rabid animals. You just don't find them because they die.
Literally any animal could be rabid, right?
Yeah.
You just that's why you generally aren't supposed to touch them or handle with gloves or whatever. Just avoid. Look, don't take only memories, Zach. Isn't that it?
Yeah.
Take only pictures.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that goes on the sign. That's the big news of the day. Realize, folks, we had a show Thursday. Okay. This is your Tuesday episode. We ain't coming back till the end of the month. This is it. Enjoy it. This is not, as I said in the Patreon, this is not going to be in the top 100 of our shows of all time, but it is a show.
Downhill from here.
Uno. Are you familiar with the game Uno, Zach?
Yes.
Uno has gone semi-viral, and I don't know what the hell they're trying to tell us. They have put out a press release of their own saying that they are coming to Vegas, essentially. Trying to pull this back up because I had it and I lost it. Uno is going to be at the Palms Casino in Las Vegas with a themed table game area for adults, a bowling alley, a dance club, nightclub, whatever, in Vegas at the Palms. So everybody's like, okay, we're going to be gambling on Uno now, like professional Uno gambling. Like this. I have a lot of people haven't played Uno since they were 9, or you played with your
kids. Unless you're a 9-year-old adjacent.
Yeah. We got bored on a camping trip this year, and we played a little bit of Uno, and it had been a very long time. I had to get a refresher course on the rules. And Uno apparently is famously, it has like house rules all over the place. Like you play Uno one way somewhere another. How many cards you have to draw, how you skip somebody. All of these things are infinitely customizable in Uno. So to think that you're going to go to Vegas and you're going to play an official Uno game that's head sewn to the carpet.
Yeah, potentially confused. For money, yeah. I'm just trying to picture like an Uno themed anything. If everybody remembers Uno, it's very primary color based. And so I'm just picturing this kind of weird like 70s vibe because everything's just like, because back then I remember like, like Fiesta ware, kind of like everything was a lot of bright primary colors. I'm just trying to picture what it looks like. It's going to like walking into like Legoland.
Well, they on the side of the casino, they had this video of like Uno animations and stuff. Like they're making it a big deal. But for adults. This is not for your 7-year-old to come play. There's also going to be some sort of a contest, and it's called the Uno Social Club. It's for connection, real world fun, and a bit of friendly competition. Mattel is obviously involved. The Las Vegas pop-up is the first one for the Uno Social Club concept. They're also going to have unique Uno-themed drinks and photo ops. That story comes out. And then today, Uno says, hey, Uno fans, a rumor has come out to our attention that there will be Uno tables at the casino floors in Las Vegas. Sounds wild, huh? We hate to be the bearers of bad news, but the casino floor isn't ready for us. We've been told, well, they have tight security. It's not robust enough for Uno at this time, which I don't know. Maybe you sneak in your own Uno cards. I don't get it. This isn't a reverse card. While we're getting this sorted out, the Uno Social Club is rolling out to bars in Los Angeles, New York City, Chicago, Atlanta, and Austin this August. So they put this huge thing out saying that they're going to do this, and then we're going to be at the Palms. And then today they put out a thing out saying, hey, there was a rumor that we're coming. Now I don't know what to believe. Maybe Mattel's just fake news.
It's kind of like it's not April Fool's either. It's July.
So they put, maybe this is what's happened. They have all this excitement. They're going to do it. And then they realize, oh shit, we're going to get regulated by the gambling people for real.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So now they're not coming to Vegas, but they are going to have the social club thing in LA, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and Austin, Texas. So if you in April want to go up to Chicago and have a wild weekend, you can go to the Uno Social Club.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's the, like, if you can't gamble it, what's the point? And then the other thing though is there like some rules about when you playing a card game, there has to be some level of skill involved or something, like where the person can win and you can't control the odds. And is Uno that game? Is Uno a game?
I think it's a game of skill.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, you have to decide when you're going to play a draw 4 and when you're going to skip and reverse.
I'll tell you what, make them clarify the rules. Can you slap a reverse on a reverse, or can you go draw 4 on a draw 4 and like change the color again? And that's where the nuance.
The tough
of the rules
part of the rules I discovered this year is that you can only play a draw 4 if you don't have any of the other things on you. I thought you could play a draw.
Growing up, play it all the time. It's a last resort card.
If you read the rules, it's a last resort card. Because if they catch you on it, you can get called out for it, and you have to prove you didn't have anything, or else you have to draw yourself. You have to draw like 6.
That makes no sense, because it's a punitive card on whoever you're playing it on. So I should be able to dole out punishment to them, no matter what my hand looks like. I did not. Yeah, so I didn't know that.
That was. I read the rules. I had never read the rules. At 7, I was like, I got this. I don't need to read your rules.
You just kind of hashed out what the rules were when you start playing it. Yeah,
whatever the oldest person says.
Yeah.
Then you read the rules, and it's different.
Whoever's got the most authoritative position on the rules gets to determine the rules. That sounds weird. I'm not remotely interested. I like Uno. I played Uno quite a bit. I have kids, but I have no interest in an Uno social club.
Presley Sora says somebody's going to lose their house over Uno. Exactly. I'm going to be in so much debt.
Unless you're Papa, or some guy's going to turn into Papa Giorgio from Yuma, and on the at the Uno table. But yeah, that's just a strange thing. I didn't know that it was popular enough, like it had a resurgence enough to like warrant having like it's turned into like the Playboy clubs of 2025. And adults only is the real strange thing.
I'm a pinup. You want to be a pinup girl for Uno?
Yeah, run around. Just people.
What's an Uno themed cocktail? I don't even know. Like,
who knows?
It's got to be the colors, right? Yellow,
it's going to look
green,
radioactive.
red,
yeah,
blue.
None of this makes any sense. Actually, none of it does. Because then the fun part too, then, is from a parental's perspective, walking your kid by the Uno club and telling them they aren't allowed in there.
We're gonna go to Los Angeles to the hottest party in town. What is it? It's Uno night.
It's Uno night at the Uno Social Club. We're going to Uno Social Club. Are you taking your kid? Nope, they're not allowed there. What? It would actually be way more fun if it was like a kids casino. It was kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of situation, and that would make more sense than the adults. You're gonna get some real interesting people there.
Does Uno Pizza still exist? Totally different, but could they serve that here?
I don't know. Kids wouldn't. You know what? My kids wouldn't eat Uno's pizza because it's like Chicago's. It's super thick. I don't know if there's one around here anymore. I remember what the last one was. Oh, yeah, it says there's one in Southport. That might be the only one left in Indianapolis. Used to be a bunch.
They were going to be in the Technicolor Uno themed suite at the Palms, July 18th. It was just going to be one suite, a party in a big suite, July 18th to the 20th. And that
actually makes sense to me.
Like it was going to have a private bowling alley.
A suite makes sense to me. Like a goofy, whimsical, themed Uno suite. That makes sense to me. A club doesn't make sense to me.
Well, the suite was the club. But, I mean, this is the Las Vegas suite that's, 10,000 square feet.
Got to be a high roller to get in there.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mr. Papa Giorgio. You've on your way to the Uno suite.
You get the Uno suite this way. Weekend. I don't know. So that's something. Who knows? One more press release today. Ed Carpenter Racing. Now owned partially by Ted Gestalt.
Yeah, something.
Ted Gaylor.
Yeah, it's like something like that.
Ted Gallo. Ed Carpenter Racing is going to have their fourth home, I think, in their existence. They're like 12 years old. They started out in lease space that used to be Walker Racing, and then they merged with Sarah Fisher Racing, and they moved into Speedway, Indiana, down on Main Street. And then they somehow something happened, and that building got sold, and now it's, I think, PRI or somebody's down there.
Yeah, PRI.
So they moved into another nondescript race shop up on the north side of Indianapolis. And today, they said they're relocating to Westfield. They're moving to Hamilton County. Be the first IndyCar shop to go to Hamilton County, Indiana. Westfield in the Grant Park district. Grant Park is where the Colts have their training camp. So you're going to have an IndyCar team right next to the Colts.
Get some cross promotion.
And it'll be a 76,000 square foot facility, which is where Ed Carpenter Racing is going to do all of their stuff from. I guess it says here in the press release that it's their 14th season of competition, fourth home base in 14 seasons. I did the math because I'm like, this is a lot of new shops for IndyCar teams, right?
Yeah.
My list. Prema just built a new shop in Fishers this last year. Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan Racing. They're in Zionsville with a brand new shop that they built like 2 years ago. Andretti is literally moving in the middle of the season. I think they just moved into the old IndyStar printing building. So they're in a new shop to them. Not a new building, but a new shop to them.
So the other shop just moved?
McLaren had purchased Andretti's shop.
There was one
3 years ago. And they needed it. They were going to move in. They were like, I don't care. Zach Brown told them, I don't care. We're moving in no matter what. You have a contract. Andretti was going to move into their new F1 spot.
I was going to say, what happened to that?
But then they found out that because of because of the cost cap in F1, you physically cannot be in the same building in IndyCar. An F1 team can't be in the same building as anybody else.
Oh, because they were afraid that they would
theoretically funnel money through the IndyCar program,
or just amortize their housing costs to the other teams and keep it under the cap.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they had to change and pivot, and that's why Andretti had to give up on their plan again on their home.
I was say they've had some legal entanglements with the other shop too.
Juncos Hollinger Racing has a new shop in Speedway that they moved into when they became a team. AJ Foyt Racing moved out of Texas, and they're entirely in Speedway, Indiana now. So those are all new shops. Penske's, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Penske shop. They've been there about 15 years, and it's like an old air conditioner facility, and the NASCAR and IndyCar programs are both together in North Carolina. But that's happened in the last 15 years because they used to be in like Pennsylvania. They were in Reading, Pennsylvania. Ganassi has had an Indy shop for a long time, but I think it's pretty stable. They're doing just fine.
Yeah.
I don't think they need a new
I've been in it and it
necessarily.
doesn't look cramped or anything. Some of the shops I've been in have looked cramped, like they've been outgrown their spaces.
Meyer Shank has a brand new shop they opened up in Columbus, Ohio, or a suburb of Columbus, like in the last few years. So that leaves one IndyCar team without a brand new race shop. Chicago, Illinois.
No Dale. Yeah, I bet they're in an old cramped shop, but they're doing good things there. So
yeah. So that's the news. I would say Coin did benefit greatly from the IndyCar merger and the other Chicago team going away. So a lot of the guys that worked for Newman Haas in Chicago, if they wanted to stay with IndyCar, they got to go to Coin. So I think they really stepped up their game when that happened, and they've been more competitive since then. So yeah, that's the big news here. I don't know if Henry County put a bid in or if they were searching, if there was an opportunity, or if they just said, you know what, I-70 is a mess, we can't come here.
It is a little bit of a bummer that they're at least they're staying local-ish, but they're kind of scattering. It used to be an area west of the track, and they kind of called it Gasoline Alley,
south of the shop, south of the track.
Yeah, and it was like
Hemmelgarn Racing was down there. HGM was down there.
Panther was out that way, I think, maybe. I remember driving through an industrial area, and Panther was out that way, and it was like a Penske shock building out there, and now they're all kind of scattered around because Ed Carpenter's shop, current one, is not near the track, but it's on Georgetown Road, so it's on the same road the track's on. It's just up north in the burbs, kind of. Chip Ganassi's tucked in a little corner. So
Ganassi and the new McLaren shop are very close to each other.
Ganassi shop was pretty. It wasn't horribly cramped. But they run their IMSA program out of there as well. They just run on different sides of the same room, but I can see them all needing to bigger and better stuff. But good for them.
It's great, and there's going to be a coffee shop. So I know there's like a steakhouse and some other stuff in the Ray Hall Letterman shop. I've not been there yet. Have you been to that?
No, I haven't. I need to because it also shares a campus with all of Graham's businesses, and he has several. He's a motorcycle dealer and a car maintenance and dealer, and they all share a campus because then he hosts Cars and Coffee there quite a bit. I need to get over there just for that because his Cars and Coffees are always great. He pulls cars in for his Cars and Coffees that are pretty impressive. So I have not made it over there yet. Yeah, there's a coffee shop. They're making them into like campuses where they can host events and do PR stuff, and it's not just like
it's not
the
just
old dingy
race cars.
Yeah, an old dingy kind of shop with a couple of offices in the front for the front office people, and they're making them into like nice, like conceptually drawn places with some architectural work into them. So
IndyCar had their double header at Iowa over the weekend. Had 2 race winners. None of them were Team Penske. This was the great hope for Joseph Newgarden, Scott McLaughlin, and Will Power. They had one good race.
Yeah,
they finished second, third, and fourth in the first race. Chevy got their first win with Pato O'Ward, but Pato had a better pit stop than Joseph Newgarden, and so be it.
I think
Joseph was a little pissy about finishing second.
Yeah, I heard, I think on Trackside Day, they said they actually broke it down and that Pato actually was just better on his out laps. Somehow Joseph's pit stop was still a little quicker than Pato's. Even though there was a slight fumble on one tire. Yeah. They said even though one of the pit people fumbled on one of the tires, I think a little bit, but they said she was quick. She got back on it, and it was a driving thing and not a crew thing, but it was good for Pato. And if anybody hasn't followed it, Pato has got a little relationship with Scott Dixon's son, Kit, it's fantastic to watch. Go find some clips on social media, and they've been chit-chatting and stuff, and so there was a picture of Kit with a trophy and stuff. So Pato, I'm not a huge Pato fan.
It was a picture on the runway with the private jet.
Yeah, but
Like-
is it the runway at Iowa behind the track?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, they asked him in the post-race press conference, said, hey, did the kit come up? And he's like, no. He's like, I don't know what happened. He didn't realize what was going on at the time. He's like, maybe it was his nap time or something like that. So they caught each other on it's like Pato's jets behind him in the picture. But yeah, it's kit cam's one of my favorite things in IndyCar. But they're both pretty. I've watched both races. I watched back the last half of the second one. I was doing stuff outside, but they're both good races.
I think the second race was even better. Like the outside, they had 2 lanes working. The track had been really rubbered in. So there was a lot more strategy and randomness. Every time that you needed a caution, an Andretti car would crash and screw Joseph Newgarden in the second race.
Shockingly, I have never seen a guy with such he would literally, they'd show the camera and he'd pull on the pit lane in the same shot, and Andretti car would just smack into the wall, and you're like, and they did something to their cars. I don't know, some will say I'm an idiot, but they must have engineered something out of it, because they all blew right front tires at some point during especially the second race. And yeah, poor Joseph was in pit lane for 2 of them.
Now, Joseph had fought his way back. He was like the first car to pit on the first one. He got back on the lead lap, and he was back in. He had fought his way all the way up to where he should have probably been able to win the race again. And then he's pitted just before the final yellow. David Malukas, AJ Foyt driver, actually got by him on the pit stop sequence again. And then the caution came out that hosed both of them and Connor Daly and some others. So Alex Palou was able to win the race. Palou, all the Hondas that had better fuel economy. So Palou, Dixon, and Marcus Armstrong all wound up on the podium. But if that hadn't happened, once again, Newgarden was going to lose to a first-time winner, David Malukas, because of a pit cycle again.
To a guy with a technical arrangement with this team, that would have been a twist of the knife in his back.
So we're the world's biggest Alex Palou fans. 7 wins already on the year for Palou. There's 5 races to go. He could sit out for. I think there's nobody higher than like 7th or 8th in the points could possibly win at this point the championship. He's going to win the title. That's cool. It's awesome, historic. I want to see a first-time winner or a team that hasn't won in a very long time. Not Team Penske, but a team that hasn't won in a very long time to win a race. There's 2 ovals left that you have a chance. Milwaukee, particularly, I think you could see a Juncos or a Foyt win.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see. Connor's been doing great on the ovals. I'm an okay Connor fan, but they have not been able to put together an entire race yet. They always get to like the last stint or 2, and then something goes wrong with his car, and like the handling goes away or whatever. They got to figure out how to finish out a race.
I think they finished 5th in one of them. I think.
Yeah, he did pretty well. But
in the first
and
race.
my oldest is he's been a Connor Daly fan since he drove the Air Force car. So he's like, "Where's Connor? Where's Connor?" And so he had a good time for the weekend because Connor was running pretty well for both races. Because he's outside the front row for the first one, qualified second. So yeah, they were pretty. I thought they were good races. The crowd looked terrible, and that would be interesting to see how they make that work for next year. But I've heard if it comes back next year, it'll be a single race, which is fine with me. A night race.
There were estimates that 6,000 tickets were sold for each day.
Yeah, and I think I heard
good.
I think I heard that Sunday it might have got up like 8,500. But if you watch the race, you'll notice that they kept the camera shots low, like just above the wall, and it's because there was already a bunch of empty seats in there. So that's a bummer. But what, they have a NASCAR race in 3 weeks or something like that, and it was a track rental.
Honestly, I think the series needs to race places that NASCAR isn't. So IndyCar had the Nashville market all to itself. They had Iowa all to themselves for a long time. It was built, and Cup didn't want to touch it. IndyCar finally had some success there with Hy-Vee, and all of a sudden the NASCAR Cup Series says, "Oh, this looks great." Same thing happened with St. Louis. IndyCar came back to St. Louis, brought a track back that hadn't had major league racing in a long time, and then the NASCAR Cup Series says, "Yep, I want to do that." So they're coming in there. Chicago's sitting empty, man. Chicagoland is empty. Kentucky Speedway could do great racing that nobody else is racing at. If you are the only ticket coming to one of these races, I think you can be successful.
Yeah, and the track will work. And the one thing too is that if they get it working, and I don't know if this is possible. I don't know what I'm talking about, some of the stuff, but man, you need to take like people like Hy-Vee and you need to lock them down and like real contract, because they just got poached by Cup, and Cup owns the track. So it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, they do need to kind of find a way to make that work. It's a bummer though to like revitalize a track and then have the track kind of be like, okay, see you later, and we're done with you. We're hosting a cup race now.
NASCAR has brought back Rockingham for, I think it was a truck race and an ARCA race. And that facility is exactly the right size. Everything about it is right for IndyCar. They don't have anything on the East Coast whatsoever, other than St. Pete, which is Florida, which is a totally different thing.
Florida's
you get the Southeast, but you don't have Virginia, North Carolina, New York, Pennsylvania, nothing in the Northeast, nothing on the East Coast. Rockingham really makes sense to me. I wish they would look at it as a facility. There's not a NASCAR race of any sort in Wisconsin this year for the first time in like 70 years.
They're not doing any Road America.
There's nothing at NASCAR's not at Milwaukee. They're not at Road America. So IndyCar's got 2 races up there this year. You go to the places where they're not, and that's where you have your success. They don't the places they do well. They don't compete with other people. Toronto, Detroit, I guess.
And that's a corporate check out the box.
Whatever.
Roger wants that race. They're going to have that race.
So they are at Toronto this weekend. As is tradition, McLaren has driver dramas. The second race at Iowa,
Nolan
Siegel had an incident in race 1. They thought he was going to be cleared overnight. He wasn't cleared medically, so they didn't run the car at all. Apparently, Tony Kanaan tried to come out of retirement, and they said, no, you didn't practice, so you don't get time. You can't come out in the race. So they're going to have a standby driver for Nolan Siegel going into Toronto because they have to. They won't know if Siegel is good to race until they're all in Toronto already, like on Thursday or Friday. Yeah. So they're going in, and Linus Lundqvist, who finished, I think, on the podium twice and won a pole last year for Ganassi before they had to downsize the team. He's going to be in the papaya.
I wouldn't mind seeing him get to drive. Nothing against Nolan, but it'd be nice. Yeah. That poor guy, he's so good. And he got a shot, but not really a super great shot.
He performed as well as he should have. I mean, you sit on the podium as a rookie twice and win a pole.
Yeah,
you should get an invitation back. But unfortunately, that he was under contract and couldn't look somewhere else, and then got squeezed out. And they had 2 drivers that got squeezed out. One got farmed out to Meyer Shank and Marcus Armstrong, and the other driver was Lundqvist, who's just been on ice.
By the way, the podium picture of them drinking champagne. It looks like they picked up Marcus from the bus stop. He looks 14.
He's 24 and he looks 14.
He looks 14 years old. That's between Dixon and Below. Like, oh, he looks like, he doesn't look like he's the one chugging the champagne. Like he's chugging from the bottle. But
last year at Toronto, Alexander Rossi had a crash and broke his wrist in practice. And they had to fly Teo Porcherian from Europe overnight to be able to run the race. So this is at least a chance they're going to have somebody that's in the country that's going to be able to run it.
And they said that he's been at
every race.
He'd been
just
every
waiting
race.
And hoping. He was in Iowa, but he hadn't.
I think what Kevin Lee, I think, said was that they probably could have figured it out if they knew that he wasn't going to get cleared on Saturday, but they wanted to wait till Sunday to check him again. And by then it was too late to like go through any kind of process to get somebody else cleared to drive the car. So it was just a short notice kind of thing, but I think they could have figured it out. For the
fans, I'd like to see all the cars run. So if somebody's out and the car's just sitting there, the team's there, the sponsors want to see their car on track, you got to find a way to make it happen. Same thing happened years ago at California. Schmidt-Peterson Racing, which is now McLaren. I think there was a huge accident with... who's the Russian?
Mikhail Aloshin.
Mikhail Aloshin had a huge crash in practice, and they just parked the car. They didn't try to come back. He was not well enough to race, and they just didn't run him in the last race of the year instead of putting a backup driver in. Which he was a bring a check situation. I know.
I think there might have been check clearing issues with him by the end.
Yeah, they said that we're not doing this.
He was fun to watch. I miss Mikhail. He was a fun guy.
The Russian rocket.
Yeah, it was just the affiliation with like what they call them in the Russian, the oligarchy. Yeah, it was a Russian oligarchy issue with him, where the money came from, but
not allowed to rush. I don't know if there's a rule or not, or if it's just not liked at this point to run under the Russian flag. Your one Russian driver is running under the Israeli flag in IndyCar right now.
Was he actually Russian?
Yeah, Schwartzman is Russian, but Jewish. So
Yeah.
he's from Tel Aviv.
Yeah. He had a pretty good weekend too.
Listen, guys. This is a Tuesday. We just had a show. Thin notes. We got it. We understand.
I just stopped sweating.
Doing
pretty good.
Still got you damn near an hour. We're like 50 minutes, 45, 50 minutes, somewhere there. You got any final thoughts for me, Zach?
Man, I should have had something. I thought of something, but I can't think of it now. But just, no, not really. Stay cool. I'm going to enjoy not being in the humidity in a couple. Well, we'll be humidity, but somewhere else.
You'll have a sea breeze.
Yeah. And other than that, no, not really. Just stay away from the bats, I guess. Don't pet the wild animals.
Yeah.
You want good advice on that? Go check the National Park Instagram feed. I don't know when they fired that sucker back up, but it's back up and going. It's one of my favorite Instagram feeds.
Don't tell Doge. If you want to touch a wild animal, catch a fish and let it go. It's not going to give you rabies. If you want to touch a wild animal, touch that.
Yeah, don't touch the bison.
Don't pet the fluffy cows. Henry County Forage Fair is happening right now. I got to spend some time out there last night. I was looking around for the adults, but the oldest people I saw out there were my age, which is weird. The people in charge appear to be my age now. It's really fun to watch all the people I grew up with their kids out showing animals, and everybody's elevated up. The folks that were my parents' generation are now just sitting there in the rocking chairs and kind of laughing at it all,
reminiscing, and watching their parents or their kids suffer,
watching their kids have to go through all the effort.
The common train coming around.
Yep. They're out there brushing hogs down and freaking out, and there's just everybody's changed roles. And now I see all the kids of the people I know. They've gone from being 3 to 13 in 5 minutes, and now they're out there showing. So it was a lot of fun last night, catching up with some people and seeing some of that. That fair goes on through Friday. I know I think that there's a round robin competition coming up on Thursday. The pie auction. Normally we do the pie auction thing and we buy a pie or whatever. Since we're on a Tuesday this week, that's on Thursday. You have time to get out to County Fair and buy a pie. So yeah, that's that side. Hugs and thoughts and prayers with the Plank family. Forrest lost his grandfather this last week, 91 years old. So amazing, long, beautiful life. I know he's a veteran and a big part of Forrest's life. So appreciate him and keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. Next show for us. We're going to get 4 shows in July, but it's going to be July 31st. And it's going to be, we're going to be talking about the parks. We're not Baker Park, state parks. We got some guys lined up that are coming from Indianapolis, and we're going to talk about how our state park system gets funded and any of these cuts that are going on, how it affects them, what they're trying to do. I think they're an advocacy group for the parks. This all stemmed from the fact that they're going to stop printing maps for the parks. And I said, well, I want somebody to tell me about this and what the story is. So that's the plan. Next show, July 31st, Thursday. We'll see you then.